Now, this is something that I think a lot of people mess up on. They don't track their numbers door to door. They don't know what their inputs are, what they need to do to make a certain amount of money. And so I kind of want to just run you guys through how to do that, how to know and predictably scale your company, knowing with door to door and with other advertising methods, knowing what your next week looks like based off of your average order value. What these are called are KPIs, or key performance indicators. Okay, so let's jump into this. So what we're going to do here today is you're going to learn how to improve your door-to-door sales by tracking important numbers. This guide works for all home service businesses like window cleaning, pressure washing, junk removal, and more. All right, so I'm going to show you how you measure your results, and this can help you make more money each month, find new sales chances, and build a sales system that grows with you. You're going to learn which numbers are the best for salespeople to track and how to use these ideas in your business the right way. Okay, you can't scale what you don't track. And a lot of people don't understand this, but metrics and numbers are everything in sales and in your business. The average home service business owner sees a 57% revenue increase, average growth for the business that tracks their numbers. So if you jump into this, you think about what are you doing monthly right now? Add another half. So take half of what you're doing monthly and add that on top of your current revenue. That's what the average business does. It's 57% more revenue, average growth. Okay, that much quicker. All right. They have 3x faster growth because they know what inputs need to be done and what needs to be put in, what needs to be taken away from to get better results. Okay. Teams that track key numbers grow 3 times faster, and you get an increase of 42% profit margins, better profits through data-based decisions. Because when you know what it takes to get a client and how much you need to pay out, you can judge and set up your payroll incentives and bonuses based off of this, right? Because when you know what your next week looks like, you know what you can ideally pay out and what you can ideally put into the company while still being profitable. Okay. The main difference between struggling home service businesses and successful ones is simple. You can't improve what you don't measure. When you rely on feelings instead of real data, it's like running your business with a blindfold on. And I mean that. I have been in situations where I ran multiple companies. I've tried 16 businesses so far. So you can imagine how many things I had to track and things that were moving pieces for me that I didn't understand at the time, but I now do. But I'm looking back and I'm like, holy crap, I really was running these businesses with a blindfold on. I didn't know what inputs I needed to put in to get what out. And it was the most difficult thing to scale. It's impossible to scale, right? So the best door-to-door salespeople don't just work harder, they work smarter by tracking every key number that directly link to their income. These numbers tell the truth and help you make better changes in how you talk to your customer and who you target. So you need to understand your KPIs in door-to-door sales. So I just revealed that to you earlier what they are, but it's key performance indicators, KPIs. Okay. You need to know the revenue, the money you make. You need to know the conversion rates, how many leads become customers. And you need to know activity metrics, how many doors you knock on to get these conversions, right? To get this revenue. Okay. So it goes bottom up really. But key performance indicators, KPIs, are simple numbers that show how well you're doing in your sales work. For door-to-door sales rep, these numbers help you see what's working and what needs to improve, right? So think of KPIs like a dashboard in your car. Just as the dashboard shows your speed level, your fuel level, your sales KPIs show if you'll hit your targets or need to change what you're doing. The best home service businesses don't just sell randomly. They follow a plan based on tracking these important numbers. Now, you can do this for your actual employees as well. So you want to track their KPIs. How many doors are they knocking? How many people are they talking to? How many sales are landing, right? Because then you can see answer rate. You can see if it's the neighborhood that's messing them up. Okay, so answer rate to people talk to sales landed. You can know exactly how many people they need to talk to on average to close a deal. And if you look at your average order value, you know exactly how many people they need to talk to make a certain amount of money, right? So when you can set these goals based off of your KPIs, you can really predictably scale a company with the right inputs, with the right tracking, okay? So here's why most sales reps get stuck. They have no clear numbers. They work on gut feelings instead of facts. They have missing patterns. They're not seeing any trends that affects the results, right? There's no trends that affect their results. It's just random trying effort with no metrics. Same mistakes, no way to spot and fix problems, because if you know you have a high no answer rate, then you know it's not your closing. You know, you can't sell to thin air, right? So, and they can't grow more. They're unable to earn beyond a certain point because they don't, it's just here or there, right? So the hard truth is that most door-to-door salespeople hit an earning limit because they don't track the results. Without looking at your numbers, you're blind, right? You can't tell what's working and what's not. So this problem creates a bad cycle. You keep making the same errors, miss chances to use your strengths, right? And find it hard to train new team members because you don't have KPIs or numbers to go off of to explain to them that these are your inputs, this is what you need to do to get this, right? It's just blindly letting them know, like, hey, maybe you need to improve your pitch. Maybe you need to improve body language. It's here or there, right? Result, flat growth and up and down result. And the feeling that you're working harder without getting paid more. Here are the 5 key metrics that drive your sales income, okay? Doors knocked, the basic count of how many doors you visit. conversations, how many people actually talk to you, quotes given, times you share your prices and offers, right? Jobs closed, sales you successfully complete, and your average sale amount, or how much money you make per sale. All right, your door-to-door sales income comes down to these 5 simple numbers, all right, because they work together like steps in a process. When you improve any step, you earn more money. The best part is that once you track these numbers, you can predict how much you earn, exactly what I was just explaining, right? Top sellers focus on these numbers because small improvements add up quickly. Okay, for example, if you get 10% more conversations and also close 10% more sales, your income grows even faster than you might expect because these improvements multiply together. All right, so here's the average rep and top performers. Okay, so average rep from knock to conversation, so someone who actually opens the door, average rep is about a 30% open rate or 30% conversation rate. Okay, knock to conversation. A top performer gets about 45%. 45% because they dress proper, they knock, they don't stand like they're weary. It's their nonverbal communication, it's their verbal communication. It's a lot that plays into this. Now, top reps get higher answer rates because of, again, certain key aspects. Now, conversation to quote, average rep gets about a 40% conversion rate on that, whereas the top performer gets 65% of the people that they talk to give them a quote. So if you're an average rep, you're doing about 40%. That means every 10 people that you talk to, or 10 people that you get to have a conversation with, you get them to let you give them a quote, right? 65%. So that means every 10 people that you talk to, 6.5 of them will say yes to you giving them a quote. All right, now these metrics matter a lot. Okay, then you go from quote to close. The average rep sees about a 25% conversion rate on the quote to close. All right, so from this point to this point, 25% of people only close. Top performers see 40% of the people that they talk to, out of the 65% of the people that talk to them, out of the 65% of people that allow them to give them a quote, close. So you can run the numbers there, but that's a very important metric, quote to close. Then you have close to upsell. All right, there's something called the Trojan horse method, which I won't go too in depth here. When you upsell incremental parts in the job, let's say you close them on exterior window cleaning, then at a certain point into the job, you upsell them on screen cleaning. Then at a certain point in the job, you upsell interior. Then you go around at the end. This is the Trojan horse method, but you go around at the end, 80, 90% in, close them on other jobs. So pressure washing, gutter cleaning, soft washing, roof cleaning, all this stuff. Now, these ones don't really matter because if you can close the last one, you're going to up your AOV by a lot. Because if you're going for higher ticket jobs like pressure washing, soft washing, etc., say you close a 350, but then out of 10 people, let's say you close 10 people on exterior window cleaning, if you close just 3 of these people on the last one, your average order value goes up that much. All right, and the goal here is to bring down CAC, so customer acquisition costs, which is free for door-to-door, it's just time, and to improve your average order value, or how much money you're making. Okay, 2 very, very important metrics there. All right, these numbers tell you where potential customer drops out, helping you focus on fixing the weakest parts in your process. Now, if you're tracking these KPIs, you know exactly what to push on, what to take away from. Very important. Okay, the difference between average reps and top sales reps is clear. Top door-to-door sellers don't just knock on doors, they get better results at each stage. By knowing your rates and comparing them to others in your field, you can easily find areas where small changes lead to much higher sales. Now, this can also happen with a coach. You don't just have to go to your peers, but coaches, right? So here's how you're going to find and fix your sales weaknesses. Okay, gather your numbers. Track your 5 main sales metrics, exactly what we just talked about, right? Find your percentages. Work out how many leads move to each next step. Spot your biggest drop. Focus on where most potential sales are lost. Make targeted fixes. Use specific methods to improve that weak spot. Okay, collecting data only matters when you use it to make real changes. I promise you, I've done this before. I've tracked my metrics and I didn't actually use them to improve my sales process. Now, this is just retarded. There's no point to do it. You need to improve and make real changes. Okay, so start by finding where the most leads drop out of your sales process. This weak point is usually where you can make the biggest improvements. Okay, for instance, if many people talk to you, but few ask for quotes, or you can't give them quotes or give them a price, you might need better ways to show your value. If people get quotes but don't buy, you may need to work on how you present or handle objections. Your numbers will show you exactly what to fix instead of just guessing. All right, before we get back to the value, so I want to introduce you guys to Launchify. What we do at Launchify is we help you track your important numbers. So everything that we just talked about, very concise, very necessary things, we're going to do done for you / done with you. So we help you track all of your key metrics across all marketing channels in real time. We also do weekly audits to either take away or push on what's working in the business. So this is considered the part of Launchify where we do the business consulting side of things for and with you. All right, we also run all of your ads on relevant channels, done for you. right? Our advertising system delivers on average 10 to 14x returns on your $100 investment. So let's say you put $100 into our advertising system. On average, our clients are getting about $1,000 to $1,400 back off of a $100 investment into the advertising system. We've seen people with 18x, we've seen people with 26x returns on $100 in. So let's say you spend 1,000, get about 10,000 back. You get a 14x return on your advertising, depending on your market and how receptive it is. We're talking Facebook, Google, et cetera. This is all stuff that we set up for you right away. Within 3 to 5 days of launch, which I'll explain in a little bit, we're seeing these returns. So you can imagine how quickly this can go up and up and up. We use something called a snowball method. It's something so crucial to your business. A lot of people aren't doing this right. So I wanted to come in and do it for people and with people. So that's why I created Launchify. All right. So we'll also help you build your team. So we handle your hiring needs by either doing it for you or working with you. We build your sales team and set up your systems to track their performance from the start. You don't need to do all this alone. You can partner up with us at Launchify. I ran a coaching program previous called Business Launch Pro. I did this for hundreds of clients. We scaled up teams to $70,000 months. It's down to a T in terms of coaching and helping people. We help with everything. We build your sales team. Again, we track performance from the start and we do everything necessary to scale your company from where you're at to where you want to be. At Launchify, we do more than just track numbers. We fully become immersed as a part of your team, managing your metrics, running your ads, and even building your sales team through our proven hiring system, the hiring cleaners when fit. Okay, our clients see results in just 3 to 5 days in joining. Ads are up, jobs are flowing in. We track performance, manage marketing, and grow your team, turning most companies' random activities into reliable sales and systemized growth. Launchify takes care of everything for you so you can focus on growing your business and working on it, not inside of it. Okay, so click the link below this video if you want to book a call with us. Here's how to fix your broken KPIs. So here's your weak KPI, common causes, and proven solutions. So if you have a low knock to conversation rate, bad timing, weak opening, and wrong areas, right? What you need is better scripts, area research, and clothing choices. If you have a low conversation to quote rate, you have weak selling points, poor screening, and trust issues. Okay. You need to ask more about what the customer needs or ask more engaging questions, fix your tonality and your nonverbal communication. If you have a low quote to close rate, price concerns, competitors, poor follow-up. You need to stress value, handle objections better, follow up regularly, and explain the problem with waiting. For instance, hey, if you wait, the actual seals on the window, the rubber seals on the window, if you don't maintain your windows, they'll actually crack and you have to replace your windows. Most windows have 2 panes of glass and you'll actually see humidity build up in between the panes once this cracks. And I've seen dozens of homeowners have to replace your windows. I just rather not have you go through this process and have to replace your windows. So what we could do is just, if you want to get in for this $100 discount, we can just go ahead and get you in for that. Or if you want to get in for X discount, whatever, some incentive for them to move forward. If you want to go ahead and get it done today, we'll just drop it down from $249 to $199. We'll just do the whole exterior of the home. Obviously, upsell later down the line to bring that back up. That's the goal. And again, just explain the problem of waiting. Okay. Next is low average sale amount. So if you have no add-ons, limited options, and sales hesitation, what you really need to be doing is bundling your services, offer tiers, price based on value. Okay. Very easy fix. Okay, so when you find a problem KPI, using the right fix can quickly improve your results. I'm talking a lot more money. Like just in some simple processes, like if you start implementing this and you look at your KPIs, you understand that you're going wrong here, 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 start fixing that, you can imagine how much more money you're gonna make, okay? So each step of your sales process needs its own approach. So focus on fixing the one number at a time with small measurable changes you can track, okay? So for example, if few people talk to the door, try new opening lines, change when you visit, change your close, or go to different neighborhoods. If you're not closing enough sales, work on better answers to customer concerns or create a simple follow-up plan or better your objection handling, etc. These small fixes add up over time and help you grow your revenue by a lot. All right, so you need to be doing weekly KPI reviews. All right, you need to be doing data collection, collect KPI numbers from all team members from the past week to ensure you have complete data. Now do this for yourself and do this for your team. Now, your daily and your weekly KPIs are going to fluctuate a lot. You're going to see very high and very low. You got a lot of answer rate here. You got a very good close rate here. You got a low close rate here, right? What you need to be looking at is your monthly. Now do it weekly because then you can add it up monthly. But if you, let's say you have your monthly and it's fluctuating, where it's going to average out, where you can actually make goals based off your KPIs is the monthly term. You need the more expanded version of the horizon, right? You need 1,000 doors knocked, 400 people talked to, this many sales landed. Okay, you need to have these metrics on a longer horizon because that's your actual average. That's where you're going to set your goals from. So start with weekly and daily. All right, so performance analysis. Compare results to goals, spot trends, and find areas where your sales process needs improvement. All right, strategy adjustment. Create action plans to fix weak areas by updating scripts, providing training, and changing sales approaches. Okay, when you're in this process, again, you can't just take this data and do nothing with it. You have to analyze and implement. There's no reason to track this if you're not doing anything with it, okay? So implementation accountability is your next step. Assign specific tasks, set clear goals, and follow up to make sure everyone completes their work, and you are as well. Okay. Be very attentive. And also, as a leader, you need to be doing this yourself. You can't just be telling other people to track their metrics and improve here, improve here, improve here. You need to be doing this yourself as a leader of this company. If you're in the mix, okay, not to say that you can't get out and not have to put in that work, but I'm saying if you are in the mix, you need to be tracking and showing and explaining to people exactly what's right, what's wrong. Okay. They need to see it from you. All right. So weekly KPI reviews turn data into action plans. So these regular meetings can help you analyze results, make adjustments, and hold people accountable for ongoing improvements. Whether you run these meetings yourself or get help from Launchify or us, the experts in the field, these sessions drive consistent sales growth. So good reviews follow a simple pattern. Celebrate success to encourage good behaviors, examine poor results to find root causes, develop specific plans for improvement, and create ways to ensure follow-through. This approach prevents teams from getting stuck and builds a culture that uses data to improve performance. This is what sets top organizations apart from the average ones. So we need to go through this too, is what top salespeople track. These are the key numbers that matter, right? Common objections, talk time. This is like actual, so you have your door-to-door. So this is also what top salespeople track and key numbers that matter. This goes even more in depth than just your knocking, answer rate, and close rate, okay? We have common objections, talk time, sales speed, and add-on sales, okay? These are all revenue-producing things that you need to focus on, because the common objections that you get, if you can handle every objection in the world, you can imagine how many more sales are going to land. If you can focus on not rambling and talking at the door for 30, 45 minutes, that is also going to increase the amount of sales you land in that day. I used to have a salesman, I'm not going to name him, but he was actually my wife's cousin who worked for me as a sales rep for my company. He would talk for 45 minutes, an hour about just the most random stuff. Okay. Don't do that. Okay. Sales speed, counting the days from the first call or knock to finished sale. Okay. Sales speed matters a lot. If you can make this quicker, you can make your sales process a lot quicker, in turn making you more money. Okay. Then you have add-on sales. You have tracking extra services sold beyond what was first requested. Now, again, using this Trojan horse method, this is going to help you a lot to sell more of the other services. Okay. So do that. After learning the basic numbers, top sellers look at deeper details that show ways to get better. Okay, so these special numbers help to improve your approach and reach levels most competitors never achieve. All right, so for example, tracking common objections helps you address concerns before they stop a sale. Watching how much you talk versus listening ensures you get enough customer information instead of doing all the talking. Sales feed shows where you can save time, while add-on sales show how well you maximize each customer relationship. These simple numbers often help you break through when sales have plateaued. All right, so here's to start your KPI system properly. Okay, you need to pick the right tracking tool. Choose a tool that works for you. So here I'm like high level, or you can use Homebase, all right, a basic spreadsheet even, or a simple phone app like Tally, all right? What matters most is using it regularly and easily, okay? You do not want to fall off on tracking your KPIs. There was no reason to start if you did. Okay, then you need to select your key numbers. Begin with 5 basic measurements: doors knocked, talks completed, quotes provided, jobs won, and average job price. Okay, you can add more as you grow. All right, you need to teach your team also. Make sure everyone knows what to track, how to record it correctly, and why these numbers matter for their pay and the company's success. Be completely transparent on that. Okay, so create a schedule to review your numbers weekly for quick fixes and monthly for bigger planning, or let's say monthly planning or yearly planning. All right, so starting to track your KPIs doesn't need fancy systems, it just needs your commitment and measurement too. It just needs your commitment to measure and improve. Begin with basic numbers and build up as you grow. Consistency is key. I promise you that, because I've done this before where I tracked my KPIs and stopped. There was just no reason to start in the first place. Like, all right, so consistency is key. Regular but imperfect data helps more than perfect but rare data. Okay. For new teams, focus on making data collection as easy habits that fit into your daily work. As tracking becomes normal, you can slowly add more detailed measurements. Remember, the goal isn't just collecting data, but it's finding useful insights that help you and your team perform better. To go more in depth on this, you have some common KPI tracking mistakes to avoid. Okay, so too many metrics. You're tracking too many KPIs can hurt your focus, I promise. There are a lot of metrics that you do not need to track. Okay, what I just explained are the key metrics and the stuff that you actually need to track. All right, so on and off tracking. Tracking sometimes gives bad data and no reason to start at all. All data and no action. Collecting numbers without using them, also stupid. Okay, team not on board. Not linking KPIs to each team member's work. Not figuring out who needs to improve and where they need to improve. Many home service businesses make mistakes when starting with KPIs. Okay, the biggest error is trying to track too many numbers at once, which confuses everyone and makes data collection too hard. Again, just begin with the 5 main KPIs and get good at those before adding more. Okay, another big mistake is gathering data but not using it to make changes. Your review meetings should be clear action plans. So remember, data you just look at is only interesting. Data you use to make changes in operations is insanely powerful. Okay, so lastly, make sure each team member understands how their daily work affects their company's KPIs goals to keep everyone motivated and working together, and also their revenue and the money that they make. Okay, your numbers tell the truth, and this is the way forward. Okay, so track daily, review weekly, make changes, grow wisely. Okay, monitor your 5 main numbers every day to build a solid base for making better choices. Look at your numbers each week to spot trends, problems, and areas you can improve. Make changes, right? Use what your numbers tell you to fix the problem, starting with the weakest areas first, and grow wisely. Let your improving numbers guide your growth plans and business decisions. The main difference between struggling and successful home service business owners is simple. Data does not lie. When you run your business based on real results, right? You replace guessing with knowing and turn random wins into a system that works again and again. Okay, so whether you do this on your own or use Launchify's tools to speed things up, the path is clear. Track numbers daily, review them weekly, make changes based on what you learn, and watch your business grow. When your numbers tell the truth, your success becomes much more likely. That's it for today's video. If you guys want to, again, book a call with us below at Launchify. We can set everything up for you and do everything with and for you. If you want to do it yourself, I just taught you the clear path to do it. I love you guys. Peace.